Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm playing some GTA 5 because I think that some fast moving pixels will help the zoomer mind concentrate on my content, right? Maybe it'll boost my subscriber count.
Hey, where are you?
Hey look, I'm not going to be snaky about what I'm doing here. This is a psychological operation I'm pulling on you right now, you know? I've got your favorite video game playing, you know, it's fast, it's whoa, super cool, and you can hear a voice in the background as well. Look, I'm onto you. I've got my MK Ultra plans all sorted out. Anyway. So without being silly, I'll talk about what I'm supposed to be doing today, which is the topic of stoners, and how I think, personally, stoners are not to be trusted, and sometimes they are vindictive and selfish and an all-round bad influence. Mummy was right when she said not to hang around with people who take drugs. It took me a long time to figure that out, but Mummy was right. And once again, you know, that's something else that I'll speak about in a future video. Oh, I thought I could go the whole video without crashing. Oh well. I'll speak about the old sayings of the boomers that everybody likes to pan off as nonsense. Some of it is nonsense, to be fair, but like, some of it isn't. Some of it's very wise. But you'll never ever take it on board until you've actually been in those situations, and that's also one of those situations, right? Now, obviously, if you smoke a little bit of weed now and again, I'm not criticizing you for it. I used to fucking be a pothead, right? But I stopped doing that because I realized what it was doing to me, and I realized what it was doing to the other people around me, and I didn't want to participate in that. I didn't want to finance it, right? That's the other thing too. Not only do you finance your own drug habit, but you end up financing other people's if you're not careful. Some people you'll get very close with, and then they'll suddenly say, you know, oh, could you lend me £20 because, you know, I'm running a bit low here, and you know, I'll give you it back like I done the last time. You know, I gave you it back. And you're like, yeah, okay, I'll lend you that £20, you know, whatever. You never ever see that money back. So just don't get into the habit of giving these people money, because you'll end up, they'll rack up a big debt with you if you're not careful. Luckily, I think my debt for that is maybe like, yeah, like £20 or something. I never done it again after that one time. I realised you just never get it back, right? Yeah, I mean, what I would say also is, I mean, I used to know these people who, they had big dreams, right? They had big dreams of becoming music producers, and they used to love Kanye, obviously, because of that. But they would never be able to become a music producer because they just sit in the same spot. The same spot of the house, smoking grass, talking about how they're going to become a music producer without actually producing any music. You know, they'll show the same track that they came up with on SoundCloud like 3 years ago. And like, yeah man, these were my beats when I was just starting out. Like, I think I could probably do better these days. I just don't have the time. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you have a job and stuff, but like, most of your free time is spent smoking grass, talking about how you want to spend your free time doing other stuff. Like, how do you not realize this? Well, the reason they don't realize that is because they're brain dead. You know, they're fucked up on pot, man. And it's sad to talk about because I was one of these people, right? I wasn't totally blasted out. I mean, the name of this channel, Blasted Out, I got it from thinking about people who are sort of blasted out on drugs all the time, right? But yeah, I would say another thing too is when it comes to stoner relationships, like a guy that's dating a girl in a relationship, a lot of the time that relationship becomes extremely toxic very quickly. I'll try not to be specific for fear of potentially giving some stuff away about my life that I would otherwise not like to. I've never been in a relationship with a girl who smokes pot. That's never been something that's happened, right? Just this is other people. This is me observing the relationships of other people. But what I've realized is that the the girls and the guys trauma bond with each other. What I mean is, these people are down on their luck in life. They have terrible jobs. They have a terrible relationship with each other. They have a terrible relationship with self-control. And they get together and trauma bond, right? They bond over their drug habit, basically. That's obviously a recipe for disaster. I mean, who fucking thinks that's a good idea, right? Who thinks that's a good idea to get yourself roped into? But I suppose, you know, love is blind and all that. You don't really choose. But I don't know about that, really. One guy I know in particular, he was in a relationship with a girl for 10 years, and they break up now and again. They break up, they go back together, they break up, they go back together. And every time that they break up, the girl goes around and she goes on Tinder, and I'm sure you can guess what she does, right? She goes right round the cock carousel, fucks a bunch of different guys. She ends up falling in love with one of the guys that she's fucked. He doesn't want a relationship with her. She feels used. So then she texts the ex-boyfriend, "Oh my god, I miss you so much. I want you, And you know what he does? Every single time, takes her back. Every single time. And, you know, I've spoke to him about this before. You know, we've mentioned it before to him. How she basically takes advantage of him. And he knows that. Like, they're self-aware of it. It's not as if they don't realise what's happening. This is a misconception in the black pill community. That, like, the oofy doofy doesn't realise the deal that he's got himself in. Right? They absolutely know. They know that they're being used. They know that they're the fucking fool. But it's the only thing that they can get. They can't get anything else. These people are stuck with what they have, and they have such a connection with this girl, you know, the one girl that's been with for 10 years. They think they have a connection. It's one-sided, but, you know, they think they have a connection anyway. They don't want to let go of that and start something new with someone else who could potentially be even worse, you know? At least they know this person. They know their bad habits. You get into a relationship with somebody you don't know what the fuck they're like. They could be a serial killer. They could be, you know, trying to baby trap you or something, right? So what is the terminology again? It's better to be with the devil that you know than the devil that you don't know. So that's the situation with him. And it's quite upsetting to watch, really. It's like a slow motion car crash. But you know, I've spoken to him about it fairly recently, and it seems like from what he said, he's kind of waking up a bit more to this sort of stuff, and he's wanting to try and give it a shot with other people. So you know, good luck to him and all that. I really hope he figures it out. I really hope that he gets out of this toxic situation, because it's no good for anybody. Anytime I would go round to their house, into their flat, you know, if they had an argument before, it would like basically taint the whole night. The entire night would be tainted by the fact that they're pissed off at each other, and yet they have to still pretend to like each other because there's guests. Right? It's quite a shitty environment to be around, I'll be honest. It's not something to be proud of. I mean, I guess this video might be aimed towards a younger audience. People who are maybe 14 or 15, 16. They're just sort of getting into smoking grass and being around people like that. You know, kids, it might seem really cool to be around these guys now, but When you're in your 20s and they're still acting like they're 14, it becomes excruciatingly cringe. So that's just a bit of a life lesson for you there, a bit of a reminder not to get yourself wrapped up in something that you really shouldn't be. If you're younger, you know. One other thing I'll mention as well, just whilst I'm on the topic and whilst I've still got some coherent thought and nice scenery to show you. I will actually go round the other side of the mountain. There seems to be a lot of crossover between stoners and people who take coke addicts, basically. That's something I've picked up on over the years. I was never a coke addict. I've tried cocaine a couple of times, maybe 7 times, 8 times. And to be honest with you, it's not really my drug. It's not really something I like. Every time I take it, I think I'm going to die of a heart attack. And that's also something that I used to have with smoking too much weed all in one go. The anxiety attack at the beginning would make me feel like I'm having a stroke. So I just basically stopped smoking weed. I stopped doing all sorts of drugs, to be honest. Sorry, I'm just looking at that crop duster, how it's like actually flying quite low in order to dust all the crops. That's pretty cool. Anyway, didn't realise that. Yeah, there's a big crossover between these different communities, right? And it's just a bad place to be. It's a bad place to associate with. Bad group to associate with. Though, I mean, you know, at the same time, I mean, what's much better than that? I mean, hanging out with a group of fucking normies who are like, you're constantly talking shit about each other, scheming. You know, I mean, these people do this anyway. You know, on top of that, you might get a little bit of, you know, marijuana to smoke now and again. So you're really just doing the same thing. Maybe the situation's a little bit slower. Maybe the people aren't as, you know, interesting to speak to. But at the same time, they're exactly the same as all these other fucking people. So I really don't see the difference. See if I can get up this mountain. I think there's a track, isn't there? Ah, yeah, it's up here. Yeah. So, I think that's pretty much it when it comes to the topic of stoners. I think I've said my piece there. To recap, yeah, they're vindictive and they'll try to take money off of you if they can to fund their habit, and you know, they're not very nice people. Don't be persuaded by the peace and love, man, whoa, sort of personality, when really they're quite an anxious, angry, depressed person. They'll talk shit about you if they can get the chance in order to boost their social status or something. I don't know. It's just something I've at least picked up on. I've known people who sort of came into our little group for only a couple of visits because some people thought that these people were weak or they had something sort of vulnerable about them that they could exploit for laughs. And you only see them a couple of times and then you never see them again. And you know, there was one guy in particular who was like very anxious, very sort of, you know, didn't have much going on in his life, I think. And he sort of hung around with these people, with us, because he has nobody else, and I sort of sensed that, and people just take advantage of it. They talk shit about them, they're like laughing at them, calling them idiots and all this sort of stuff.
Hey, girl.
I suppose when it comes to social status and group environments and all this sort of stuff, you're going to encounter this no matter what type of group you're in. If you are like a sort of shy, sort of incel sort of guy, which he was. So, anyway, just as I'm driving around the nice scenery here, I will end the video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed me talking here. I hope you enjoyed the new format, because I will be playing GTA in a lot of my videos now, I think, because it's been quite relaxing for me to be playing it. Sort of just driving around here. I'm going to try to progress the story in between. So if so you'll see different characters and these sorts of things. But yeah, without further ado, I will end the video here. Hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Please share this content if you enjoyed this content. It would be greatly appreciated to get a bigger audience and sort of grow this channel out. And yeah, without further ado, I will end the video. Bye for now.